Hey guys, it's Bina, and in today's video, I am revealing to you what EHG posted today, which is trade and item factions for Last Epoch 1.0 launch. The launch is going to be February 21st, 2024, which is the full release of Last Epoch, which comes with trade, item factions, the Warlock, the Falconeer, and much more to come. So I'm going to be explaining to you exactly what this is all about, and I've already went through this, so I'm only going to give you the actual important information that you need to know and what you need to know in order to make a good choice as to whether you want to go Circle of Fortune, which is more based around finding your own items, and Merchant's Guild, which is basically trade, right? So let's jump straight into it. So as I said, Circle of Fortune is a faction that will enable you to get more drop rates. For example, you can like double your chance of getting exalted, double your chance of getting tier 7 affixes, double your chance of getting items, unique items with LP, stuff like that. And on top of that, you'll be able to get some prophecies, which we'll see a bit later. Prophecies are basically certain conditions have to be met for you to gain certain items. So, for example, one of them would be kill 6 profane flesh, and that prophecy will make you drop, let's say, for example, 5 exalted scepters. So, yeah, very, very powerful things you can get in Circle of Fortune. And then Merchant's Guild, which is basically trade. Items that you trade once cannot be traded again. So, you can't just sit there and trade your way to wealth. You have to actually play the game and then acquire a certain currency to be able to trade items, which, by the way, the only thing you'll be able to trade items for is gold. So gold is going to have a lot of value. So if you want to keep your gold to buy items and sell items rather than buy stash tabs, because as we know it right now, the ultimate gold sink in Last Epoch is stash tabs. Here is a little video. I'll have the links to this article in the link down below. But if you want to watch this video, it's a very well-made video talking about trade and item factions. But I'll leave that for you, and I will just explain exactly what it's all about in here. So here they talk about the history of Last Epoch, and then how they are now releasing February 21st, and they want to say thank you for being part of our community, which led to the factions being what a thing, because people were basically 50-50 between, oh, I want to play SSF, or oh, I don't want trade in my game. If there's trade, then you know there's like the FOMO of like having to trade to get better gear and blah blah blah. So like now you'll have the choice to choose between one of the two, and you can always swap back and forth between the two, right? So Circle of Fortune, you can equip like anything that drops from the increased drop rates or from the prophecies will give you an item that is required Circle of Fortune rank 1 to 5, okay, depending on the rank that you are at that moment. And then Merchant's Guild, whenever you trade something, whenever you buy an item from the bazaar, you will have a Merchant's Guild rank requirement, right? So we'll see a little bit later what they are. So these are the item faction. Joining a faction, essentially, you have to go to chapter 9. In chapter 9, you'll have 2 places where you can go to join either the Circle of Fortune or the Merchant's Guild. So chapter 9 is the last chapter currently in Last Epoch 0.9. So yeah, you'll have to complete the campaign. Or another thing you could do is grab a Temporal Sanctum key, kill Julra, and then at the end of the Temporal Sanctum, when you exit the dungeon, you end up directly in chapter 9. So if you want to go faster into Monos and then jump straight into chapter 9 and grab your item faction, you can do that as well, right? So this is going to be the item faction panel and what it looks like. So you're going to see here you have Favor. Favor is essentially your currency to buy prophecies, to trade items with the Merchant's Guild. So how do you gain favor? It's by killing monsters, and it scales with XP. So you gain, the more XP you gain, the more favor you gain. So that means that builds that can push high corruption, for example, will be able to gain much more favor easily than a build that is just able to farm, let's say, for example, 200 corruption pretty comfortably. So the best builds in the game are going to be even better because you'll be able to gain so much more favor for whether the Circle of Fortune or the Merchant's Guild. And the worst builds are just going to be worse because nobody will want to play them anymore if you can't gain any favor efficiently with them, right? I mean, I might be exaggerating a little bit here, but you get what I mean. I think the meta is going to develop into something that is, much more like leaning towards the better builds. So we'll see here every rank what it does. They have it listed a little bit down below. So we'll go here. Let's go down here a little bit. There's going to be faction vendors. So essentially, the faction vendors are going to be kind of a gambler, which if you have excess favor, you can spend it at the gambler. These are supposed to be very, very good early on, but not as good as like real endgame options that you would have. So they will be outpaced by endgame item types to prevent FOMO from faction selection. Circle of Fortune members can also purchase lenses from their faction vendor, which we'll get into in the Circle of Fortune section. Yeah. So lenses are basically ways to not guarantee, but like lean towards not doing certain activities that you don't like. But if you don't like doing, arenas, there's going to be a lens that, removes all arena conditions for a specific prophecy. So you won't find any prophecies that tell you, oh, kill arena tier 3 and get this, 5 unique items or whatever. So that's going to be very good to, if you prefer monolith, if you prefer doing dungeons, if you prefer doing this or that, you'll be able to tailor your own Circle of Fortune prophecies towards what you like to do in game, right? So I'm heavily leaning towards trying to get as much monolith prophecies as possible. Gifting faction items. So gifting is a thing in Last Epoch where if you play with someone, right? If you're in the same party and an item drops while you're playing with your friend, you can gift the item to him. There is going to be one extra thing, right? Which is going to be resonances. Resonances are going to drop after a certain time that you play with a friend. And it's going to have their name etched onto the resonance. So what that means is that if you find an item that while you were playing solo and you were not playing with your friend, you find this item, but it's perfect for your buddy, you will be able to gift the item to him so long as you have a resonance with his name on it. So by playing a lot with your friend, eventually you'll get to drop resonances. There's going to be 2 types of resonance. One that is going to be for rare, unique, set, and magic items, and one other one that's going to be for exalted or legendary items. So another thing to keep in mind is that the item that you drop, if you're in Circle of Fortune at that moment, if you are in Circle of Fortune at that moment and you drop an item for the Circle of Fortune, if your friend is in Merchant's Guild, he will have to swap Circle of Fortune if he wants to equip it. And on top of that, Circle of Fortune will drop with a maximum rank requirement of 5. So if you want to be able to use any Circle of Fortune item, you need to be at least rank 5 in it. Okay? So pretty important. Same thing for Merchant's Guild. Will you be able to gift items that you buy off of the bazaar? And then you want to gift it, for example, you play with your wife and you want to gift an item to your wife, right? But she plays way less than you and you play way more. So you have way more favor, way more resources to buy items off of the bazaar. You will be able to buy an item from the bazaar and then gift it to her via the resonance. So that is something that you will be able to do, although she will have to have the rank high enough in the Merchant's Guild to be able to equip the item. So the Merchant's Guild is going to be in the bazaar. You'll have vendors for each item type. So basically body armor, boots, amulets, relics, whatever it is. And you'll be able to filter out the items according to the stats, the exact stats that you want, how many LP do you want on the item, how much forging potential that you want. You'll be able to filter much, much, much better than what we have currently on the loot filter. So that is going to be pretty nice. So in the Merchant's Guild, right, this is the same thing, favor, the ranks, and all of the rank and rewards. So rank 1, you can trade basic items. You can buy and sell normal, magic, and rare items in the bazaar or directly with other players. Rank 2, you can trade set items. Rank 3, you can trade specific unique with no legendary potential, okay? Rank 4, you can trade idols. Rank 5, you can trade exalted weapons. Rank 6, you can trade unique weapons. Rank 7, you can trade all exalted items. So they have you unlock the weapons first, and then the body armors, the relics, everything else. And then rank 8, you can trade all unique items. I think that rank 8 is where you will want to be at, right? So rank 8, you trade all unique items, and rank 7, you can trade all exalted items. So with both of these, you'll be able to actually make any item that you want, because you'll just go to the Temporal Sanctum and then you slam that after killing Jolra, and you just try your luck. But if you reach rank 9 or 10, then you can trade legendary weapons and all legendary items. So that means that if someone has already slammed a very, very good weapon or a very, very good piece of gear with the perfect stats on it, he wants to sell it for a bunch of gold, like 500 million gold, then you'll be able to buy it, right? We don't know exactly how long this will take to get to rank 10, but apparently they've already said that it should be quite a bit longer than getting to level 100. So yeah, I would aim for rank 7 and 8, right? So you can just trade everything. Buying items. So for buying items, you want to visit the bazaar, right? Which is going to be here on your actual faction menu, which is going to be the hotkey Y. You can visit the bazaar, and then you buy the item. You open the search window, blah, 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 and it opens up like this. It's very, very straightforward to actually filter through these, and then you'll be able to search exactly what you want. You buy the item, it appears in your inventory, and all is good, right? Selling items, you'll have to talk to another NPC, and then you open your own stash, and then you list an item. It should also be very, very straightforward. And whenever you come back here, once it's sold, you talk to that NPC again, and then you claim the gold that you sold it for. There is not going to be any tax on any sales. So yeah, that's a thing. But the most important part of it is that you can only trade an item once, and after that, the bazaar won't accept it anymore. So you can't flip items, and you can't just trade your way to victory, because you'll need to actually play the game and kill monsters to be able to gain favor, to be able to list or buy items. So it kind of limits trade in a way where Last Epoch will never become a trade simulator game. It's always going to be a play the game and trade, or play the game and, Circle of Fortune, get better drops. But it's always going to be a game that you play for the actual gameplay and not just for trading and for the economy, right? The economy is certainly going to be a thing, but it's not going to be like the actual major part of the game. It's going to be a side part, and the gameplay is going to be the most important one. So that's pretty important to know. Circle of Fortune, same thing in Chapter 9. There's another area where you can go. It's going to have the same kind of little menu here. We'll go over the ranks and everything that you can do. Enemy item drop chance. Enemies have a 35% chance of dropping twice as many items. So okay. Circle of Fortune looks really freaking good for solo players. 45% chance for Rune of Ascendance to be preserved when used on an item that requires at least Circle of Fortune rank 1. Okay. So it's really insane, guys. Whenever an idol drops, there's a 25% chance for 2 more to drop at the same time. Affixes are 50% more likely to be exalted. 35% chance for double rewards from Monolith Echoes. Uniques are twice as likely to have LP. Twice. Tier 7 affixes are twice as common. Items that would drop as rare above level 44 have a 25% chance of becoming exalted. When a set item would drop, the whole set drops instead. This will work for boss drops. This will work for everything. Items from prophecies are duplicated. So this is looking absolutely insane in terms of, how much you will be able to find. Yeah, so Circle of Fortune looks very interesting. Prophecies. So the prophecies are these things that you can actually select, and these are the things I said, like kill 5 profane flesh and you get like 6 exalted scepters, or kill an arena boss and you get 5 unique items or stuff like that. So there will be these prophecies that you can select, and you can store up to, I believe it is like 48 prophecies or 52. Anyways, it's a massive amount of prophecies that you can actually get. Yeah, so the rewards here, some example rewards are X number of rare body armors, X number of exalted, or unique amulet with minimum 1 LP. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Lenses, basically, they offer you a method to modify your telescopes. So basically, the prophecies are going to be separated into 4 different telescopes. One is going to be, I think one is going to be like for armors. One is going to be for, yeah, so armor, weapons, idols and crafting materials, and accessories, right? So these are the 4 telescopes. So whether you want to farm, okay, you want to farm rings and amulets and whatnot, accessories. So you'll go to the accessory telescope, and then you'll try to find the prophecies that you want by rolling with your circle of fortune favor, basically. So lenses offer you a way to, as I said a little bit before, to let's say you don't want to do arena. Well, there's going to be a lens that just clears all arena things from the from the from the telescope here, right? So reduced chance for prophecies to have a campaign event, or 80% increased cost of all prophecies, but they offer twice as many uses before expiring. So there's gonna be some like nice ways to like make your prophecies into what you want and not what makes like someone else might want, for example, right? So here to give a couple of examples: increased chance per rank to find large idols, and these can stack, by the way. So yeah, like 3 of these, then you can have like 3 times 15% chance to find large idols. These lenses are not consumables, so when you buy them, you have them forever, and yeah, you don't have to like repurchase them every time that you fulfill a prophecy or anything like that. So some of these unlock with the faction rank, right? So at rank 2, you unlock increased chance for specific item type prophecies, block activity type lenses for purchase, increased chance, blah, blah, blah. And then in rank 9, you get a third lens slot, right? So up to 3 per telescope. That's pretty massive. The resonances, I already talked about them. This is what is going to allow you to trade with your buddy that you always play with. So if you play regularly with one of your friends and you still find an item when you were not playing with him, you'll still be able to gift it to him via the resonances. So that pretty much sums up what trade and item factions are about: Circle of Fortune and Merchant's Guild. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for yet. Circle of Fortune looks insanely powerful, but for someone who has quite a bit of knowledge in the game, I think Merchant's Guild, as the first cycle of the game coming February 21st, it's probably going to be very nice to have like the upper edge and maybe profit a little bit more off of the market before everyone kind of knows the game in and out. So yeah, maybe Merchant's Guild first and then Circle of Fortune, or maybe just Circle of Fortune because it's the benefits of Circle of Fortune looks absolutely insane. One more thing I want to talk about: there is going to be a Twitch drops campaign. So right after launch, if you watch at least 1 hour each day on any drop enabled stream, which I will have drops enabled, you'll be rewarded that day's drop. So hopefully you guys can come see me and get the Twitch drops, and you can get all of these for these are going to be basically cosmetics. So cosmetic capes, a pet, and a blue seers orb pet, right? So 2 mantles and 2 pets. As you can see, this one and this one is for Circle of Fortune, and this one and this one is to recognize the Merchant's Guild. So yeah, here you have all the dates. I'll have this link as well in the description down below. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait until February 21st to finally dive into Last Epoch 1.0. Guys, Last Epoch is releasing, finally, after all this time, okay? So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you on my stream on the 21st, and until then, have a good time in Eterra, and I'll see you guys in the next video.